Lust destroys. Ancient times, religious traditions, the universal warning has been passed down to humanity. Lust will destroy you. In the Bible, in the Torah, in the Bhagavad Gita, and sacred texts, unrestrained sexual desire leads to spiritual and moral ruin, causing destruction both within the individual and throughout society. Porn destroys people, society. You see this in the book of Genesis, Sodom and Gomorrah. Cities were destroyed by divine judgment for their rampant immorality and sexual sin. The fall of the Roman Empire. Indolence and excess began to replace the value of discipline, duty, and personality integrity. The very foundation that had once sustained the empire began to disintegrate. Desire for sex, wealth, status, and power. It destroys a man who can be alone and don't masturbate and don't watch porn is a strong man. Societies practicing sexual restraint had stronger social unity and were more successful economically, culturally, and morally. Lust is dangerous. It destroys men. Sexual restraint is good for society's health and prosperity. When societies allowed sexual indulgence and the breakdown of traditional sexual norms, unwin observed a decline in social cohesion, economic stability, and cultural development, often leading to moral decay and society collapse. The forbidden apple, sexual temptation. Don't bite the apple. When man take a bite of the apple, it represents the first act of surrender to lust, the fall of man. It's dangerous. Don't give in to desire. It can unravel our nature. You take a bite of the apple with the tap of the phone and a device with Apple. You can see the apple, the iPhone, it's an apple, a bitten apple. And you want knowledge, you can watch, you can be on this phone, you can search, you can watch porn, you can watch bad stuff that's not good, that destroy you as a man because you lust. The oldest practice as a man is semen retention. To stay away from lust, celibacy, meditate, pray, read the Bible. Don't lust women. Do not let the woman deceive you. Stay away from pleasure. It's so easy. You can be in desires. Don't bite the apple. Lust continues to shape and degrade society. The sexual boundaries and easy access to instant gratification have become commonplace in modern culture. Serious consequences. Today we're surrounded by highly sexual media, online platforms, and a culture that often celebrates indulgence. The devil is social media. And dating apps, it's all about lust. It led to the fall of past civilization. Ancient empires were seeing the slow breakdown of moral social structures, the breakdown of man and manhood, the family unit, the rise of pornography addiction. As you can see, they separate the man, the woman. There is no good relationship. Men watch porn instead of being with a woman, talking to a woman. You have all these sex toys women use. They don't even sleep with men no more. Men are like women, women are like men. And the lustful forces. And many modern women are focused on their career. The value of children is downplayed, and they take it a second, and the cost of living goes up fast. It's difficult for a man to support his family on a single income. The traditional family structure. Men are becoming weaker because of social media. You can work through a computer, you can shop on the computer, you can just press the button and then you get it. The 80s and 90s, you had to work to accomplish things. You had to do things, you had to use your hands. People are becoming robots, and access to information was limited, and the world felt much larger. Now it feels small. It's nothing special no more. And we often face boredom. Social connections were crucial. We didn't have the digital world. Knowledge was hard to come by. You had to go to the library. More kids played outside, ran around free, physical activity. Kids were stronger. They were out, hanging out, were stronger. Few distractions, no smartphones, video games. Children were outside building friendship, independence, physical strength. They play together, they hang together. Today's children grow up surrounded by screens, spending their free time in front of the screens. They are more protected than previous generations. They spend less times outdoor, less time exploring, and more time inside home. It's good for children to play. Instead of engaging in physical activity, they spend more time on the phone. It's good to keep up your body, to train. And today most men have smartphones, and they can spend hours in a constant sexual state, watching through a screen. You watch through a screen, someone have sex. That's not normal. To watch one woman and a man have sex on the phone or on the internet. You sit in a dark room before you go to sleep, maybe you watch and then you jerk off. It's not good, man. It kills the man, it kills your seed. You become weak. You watch all this stuff and you become dirty in the mind and nasty, and you can't even talk to girls. You can't have a woman good relationship. It destroys your mind. You can't look at a woman like a friend. You can't talk. You can't be a gentleman. because you have all these nasty thoughts in your head and you open up for demons to possess. And it leads to masturbation and ejaculation, and then you get weak. Masturbation has increased than 80s, 90s. Before they had magazines, or they had it in real life. Now you can use the phone and you can watch all kind of things. You can use search. And it leads to more nasty things, evil things, and it corrupts your mind. And they keep their state in a sexual activity. They produce more sex hormones and the semen in large amounts, and they become weak, no masculine. The body must work after each loss. Reproductive activity includes in the sexual stimulation, semen production, and semen, if you masturbate, it drain the energetic resources of the organism. It's short in your life. Some animals die after ejaculation. It's not good for the immune system. You release energy. Excessive activation of the testes increases the production of sex hormones, which may affect lifespan. Your seed is life. Organisms that produce lower level of male sex hormones, such as females in many species, generally tend to live longer. Neutered animals also experience this lengthening of lifespan due to halt production of sex hormones. Neutered animals often suffer various other cyclic issues. Yeah, you live longer if you don't masturbate. Sustain from sexual activity. The excessive use of this biological function for purposes beyond procreation has contributed to widespread degeneration and societal decay. Avoid sexual excess. Exercise control over your desires and do not let them dominate your life. Your semen is not just biological fluid, it's the seed of creation. You create life with your seed, one of the most precious substances in the human body. It's the very essence from which life is made. It's made from your semen. Semen, soul fluid. It's your soul. Your body get energy from producing it. And you produce it. And it shall create new life. Not self-gratification. It goes in your mind. When we have control over our sexual instincts, we can make decisions based on rational thoughts rather than sexual inclination. So you can stand for what is good and moral rather than what is pleasurable in the moment, yet destructive in the long run. Control your sexual instinct. Focus all the 7 points: self-control and discipline. A man who keeps his lust and desires in control can be a good father, can keep his role, husband, teacher, and productive member of society. A man who lacks control over these impulses, his mind is consumed by these thoughts. He will corrupt himself and those around him. He is driven by self-gratification, and he wants his desires, and he destroys his relationships and character. If we have a desire for goodness and virtue, for working within the bounds of nature and those the will of our Creator, then we must abide by the laws of nature. Transgressing these laws will become out determined to the mind, body, and soul. Frequent stimulation of our sexual faculties saps our vitality, weakens the mind, erodes our morals, in numerous subtle ways undermines both our physical and spiritual well-being. It diminishes our spirituality, higher consciousness. When you over-engage with lustful impulses, you destroy. By focusing too heavily on these lower functions, we impair the very faculties that elevates us above mere animal instinct. So you have to have control over your mind, your spirit, yourself. Gain control over your impulses. Gain control over your life and your destiny. The rampant pursuit of sensual gratification not only detracts from our personal well-being, but also weakens the moral fabric of society. Resisting the pull of immediate pleasure, we open ourselves to higher purposes, living lives of greater love, purpose, and mutual respect. People look out for one another, not driven by self-desires. Build a stronger community. Avoid excess lust isn't about reacting our natural desires, but about redirecting our energy towards something greater. So focus that sexual energy into something greater. Lust is man's biggest weakness. Gain control over this impulse. Gain control over yourself. A society that has gained control over lustful desire will inevitably flourish. So we as men, we have to take control over our lustful desires, because lust will destroy you. You must control it.